From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the February 9th edition of Carolina Week. I'm Anthony Stokes.
And I'm Courtney Robinson. Thanks for watching. Our top story tonight. Protests about tuition increases are something you hear every day on campus. Monday, UNC system students went all the way to Raleigh to protest system-wide budget cuts and tuition hikes. The Association of Student Governments gave state legislators copies of the Personal Stories Project. The project is a compilation of stories about 800 students throughout the state. ASG President Jonathan Ducote says he hopes legislators will change their priorities after reading the book.
You know, right now we're spending more to keep people in prison than we're spending on enriching the minds of and the leaders of tomorrow. I think that's a dangerous priority for the state to have.
Governor Mike Easley also wants the UNC System Board of Governors to vote down tuition hikes. In a letter to the BOG, Easley says campus-based increases could hinder access to education. He says the UNC system should hold off on any hikes because of the national recession. The BOG plans to meet this week to discuss various proposed hikes.
A new referendum could show up on the ballot during upcoming campus elections. The executive and judicial branches have teamed up, trying to get 2,500 signatures on a petition to change the way these branches are funded. The proposed referendum could allot about $45,000 in student activity fees to the judicial branch and another $25,000 to the executive branch. Student body president candidate Matt Lyles says students need to be informed before signing any petitions.
The thing is, students really need to be critical before you sign something because it's legal, and that's you're putting your support behind something when really it could be something that's not totally serving you the way it could. And there are a lot of things like that. Welcome to the real world.
You can find a link to our website for more information at carolinaweek.org.
Elections are right around the corner, and candidates are making their final push to attract voters. In the pit Monday, Matt Calabria and Matt Lyles showed they aren't shy about promoting their campaigns. Lily West was using up all her cell phone minutes promoting her ideas, while Ashley Cat Stevens was making her pitch. Supporters were also holding up signs trying to help out their favorites. John Walker wants to be sheriff of this town, but others are going to be stiff competition.
Elections can be stressful for these candidates, so the SBP hopefuls decided to have a little fun Friday night. UNC's humor magazine Bounce held its second SBP Smackdown Forum. Candidates played games like Jeopardy, entertaining questions about campus monuments. Candidates were blindfolded during one round, and Matt Calabria and Lily West even arm wrestled each other. Bounce associate editor Jake Goldman says the forum is a way for candidates to relax during the campaign season.
We're friends with everyone, and everyone just really wants the time to really let their hair down, get up on stage, and get into a sumo suit and shove each other off a mat.
But the reason why I came to this forum is because there was no incentive to actually, here's my, what can you do for Bounce? But more is that this is a time to have fun with the other candidates and actually participate in other ways that's not like hectic or political.
Pierre was the last man standing. You can vote starting Tuesday morning at 7 by logging on to studentcentral.unc.edu. Then cast your vote and click submit. A reminder, you may only vote once. To do otherwise is an honor code violation. Voting online ends at 10 p.m. UNC Chapel Hill strives to be the nation's leading public university.
But Carolina could continue losing some of its top faculty members if university leaders don't find a way to boost salaries. We'll tell you more coming up.
Daddy, why is the sky blue?
Well, to match your pretty eyes.
Nope, not even close. See, all colors have wavelengths that are diffused by oxygen and nitrogen. Since blue is the shortest wavelength, it's diffused up to 10 times more.
Who taught you that?
Mommy?
By age 12, too many girls lose interest in math and science and their chance at future jobs. Keep her interest alive.
Know why mathematics is the basis of life as we know it?
You tell me.
It's her future. Do the math.
give you a 20. I'm sure of it. You're stupid.
Children are influenced by what they see adults do. Remember, a child may be watching you.
Imagine you're a business person and competitors are trying to woo away some of your top employees.
Worse, what if those competitors were successful 70% of that time?
Carolina Week's Lisa Doliner tells us that's exactly the position UNC Chapel Hill finds itself in.
Professor Laura Yonda hasn't had an easy time in life.
I'm a widow with 3 children.
Because her family depends on her income, you'd think she'd jump at a big salary increase. She could probably get it because she's one of the only Czech-speaking linguists for hundreds of miles around.
I've been called in on a lot of odd things. I mean, I've even done simultaneous interpretation in a courtroom for a murder case in Wilmington.
Carolina is lucky to have her. Almost a year ago, the University of Alberta offered her a job.
It was basically 200,000 Canadian dollars per year. There would be like regular increases and very hefty, substantial increases for the coming 7 years after that. It was a very generous package.
But she decided to remain at Carolina, not because of what UNC offered her to stay, but because of her connections to the community.
Very much the connection to the graduate students. I have connections also to the linguistics department here, which I'm very fond of, and to other colleagues here as well. I think it was this combination, but the real nail in the coffin for me was my children.
Yonda isn't the only professor who's faced this decision. During the 2002-2003 school year, the university tried to retain 76 professors who received offers from other schools. Unlike Yonda, 53 of those professors left. Provost Robert Shelton says it often comes down to perks.
One that's a very difficult one for us to deal with is the benefits package. Over the years, all institutions have had trouble providing what they'd like in medical benefits, retirement benefits, but we have slid farther down the slope more rapidly than any of our competing institutions.
The reason is that Carolina is part of the state health system, which is currently facing huge budget deficits. And the dwindling benefits are keeping Carolina from the top of the rankings.
Certainly support for faculty is a key parameter. So if we could turn that around, that would be the single most effective step we could take in changing our rankings.
In the U.S. News and World Report criteria for ranking public universities, faculty resources, which includes benefits, accounts for 20% of the overall score. The largest subset of resources is faculty compensation. Shelton knows retaining quality people means paying higher salaries and providing better benefits.
We are an institution that relies overwhelmingly on the quality of our people. And as we lose quality people, we suffer tremendously.
But he doesn't have a quick solution for what's becoming a big problem. Some faculty members, Yonda included, might not be able to resist a better offer next time.
Now that I've had that experience, it's something that I might undertake again once my children are a little bit older.
Shelton says faculty retention is a high priority at Carolina because other universities are out to steal our best and brightest people. In Chapel Hill, I'm Lisa Doliner, Carolina Week.
Officials from the Carolina First campaign are setting aside $400 million to keep faculty at Carolina. That money will go toward endowed professorships and education and research projects. The campaign hasn't played a large role in faculty retention until now, but with so many faculty leaving Carolina for better paying jobs elsewhere, retention has become a priority.
After a semester of meetings, the Chancellor's Task Force for a Better Workplace has released its final report. One main finding of the report is both workers and faculty members want higher pay. They also want easier ways to evaluate supervisors and have their voices heard in the decision-making process. As a solution, the task force proposes the creation of an ombudsman position. Some faculty members say they're not sure the recommendation will solve anything. Leaders say they'll do what they can, but note that many issues, like pay raises, are decided by the state, not the university.
Brad Lewis joins us now with a look at Carolina sports.
Well, we've got a busy week ahead with lots of matches. I watched the Wake game on Saturday night, and that was pretty crazy, but the boys did okay without our fans cheering them on. Hopefully they'll do okay at Georgia Tech.
Yes, hopefully they will. They'll be their second ACC. They'll look to get their second ACC road win. Wake was their first, so we'll hope they do well. Busy weekend in sports, but first, let's get to our sports trivia question, which was, when was the last time the men's basketball team won in overtime. They lost again to Duke. Was it against FSU in January 2004, against Miami in January 2003, against Duke in February 2003, or against Wake in February 1999?
The danger dog will bite your ankle. The danger dog will bite your ear. The danger dog will bite your bottom if you come near. That's the danger dog. Dog.
Want to feel appreciated? When you spend time with kids, anytime, it helps prevent crime.
One day these rats were playing in the woods. Wanted some matches and that's no good. Listen to smoke before you give it a try. Only you. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about freaked-out money. Nothing very nice on a homeless mind. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Fire.
Last time UNC and NC State met in women's basketball, the Heels pulled out a last-second one-point win in Raleigh. Since that game, the Wolfpack has won 4 straight games in the ACC and looked to make Carolina its 5th victim. Ivory Latta says, "Not so fast, my friend," as she puts the Heels up early. State roars back at the end of the first half, though. Second half, the Pack goes on a 13-0 run to break the game open. But Carolina storms back. Candace Sutton, 3-point play to cut the lead to 1. The Wolfpack holds on in the end, though, with clutch shots to break UNC's 18-game home winning streak. Pack coach Kay Yao says her team was money in the second half.
Let's just invest everything. It's sort of like you have this money and you decide to invest it all. You either get a big return or, you just lose that and start again. And I really thought they just invested everything that they had.
Carolina dropped to 8-3 in the conference. After Duke, the road didn't get any easier for the Heels because, well, they were on the road. 36 hours after losing to top-ranked Duke, the 17th-ranked Heels, 0 for the season in ACC games, were in Winston-Salem for a grudge match against number 16 Wake Forest. Melvin Scott had the hot hand for the Heels early, tying a career high with 20 points, but it was the heroics of one Raymond Felton that ensured the Heels would win. Up 3, 51 ticks left. Looks like the nail in the coffin, but all I hear is swish. Scott and Rashad McCants provided the exclamation marks for a 79-73 win that pleased Coach Roy Williams.
To bounce back 38, 39, 40 hours, whatever it was, and to play with that kind of composure is something I was really, really pleased about. It's a happy locker room in there. It was a very sad locker room Thursday night after the Duke game.
Carolina will look to get its second ACC road win Tuesday at Georgia Tech. Thursday's men's basketball game marked the 216th meeting between UNC and Duke. Who better to comment about this historic rivalry than the man who has been trying to beat Carolina for the past 29 seasons, Coach Mike Krzyzewski.
Like, you're really lucky to be a part of that game. What big-time performances by all those kids. Being in the game as long as I've been in, when a team plays that well against you, you have immense respect and empathy, because, McCants is just, he's a great player. We did everything to stop him, and how about those 2 shots at Williams and McCants? Come on, kids don't make those shots. Men do. Men make those shots, and men were making shots for both teams towards the end of the game, especially and in overtime, and free throws, and then Felton's about as quick and as good a guard as you can play against. They're the best team we've played against, and we had to play really well, of course, to win.
Chalk up another number future women's soccer players at Carolina won't be able to wear. Catherine Reddick's number 31 was retired at halftime of the basketball game Thursday. Reddick has won nearly every national award after anchoring the Tar Heels defense and leading UNC to its 18th soccer championship in school history. The men's tennis team faced a pesky Campbell squad in the first match of a doubleheader Saturday. The Camels proved to be no pushover as they kept the score close during the doubles competition. But the Heels took the doubles points, winning 2 out of the 3 matches. In singles action, standout senior Nick Monroe had little trouble disposing of his opponent, winning his straight match in straight sets 6-4, 6-2. Fellow senior standout Andy Metzler had a little tougher time, but still won his match in straight sets 6-4, 7-5. The two seniors helped lead the way to a 6-0 sweep of the Camels in singles competition. Metzler was frustrated with his singles play, but remained persistent through the match.
Some days you just got to go out there and find a way to win, just fight through it, and that's what I tried to do today. I really wasn't feeling the ball very well, so I just tried to go out and, find my opponent's weakness.
The team later won its match against Villanova Saturday afternoon, extending its record on the season to 4-0. The women's tennis team went 2-1 during the weekend at the Indoor Nationals in Wisconsin. The Tar Heels men's swimming and diving team faced off against NC State Friday night in its last meet of the regular season. With not much of a Wolfpack crowd gathered, State watched Carolina win 10 of 13 events and cruise to a 167-74 victory. Senior Yuri Sugiyama posted 3 wins to lead the Heels. In one of those wins, Sugiyama swam a time of 9 minutes and 10.23 seconds in the 1,000-yard freestyle, ranking him as the 3rd fastest individual this year in the ACC. As the men's lacrosse team begins its preseason workouts and scrimmages, the accolades are already streaming in. The Division I preseason coaches poll has Carolina as the number 8 team in the country. 5 Heels, including junior goalkeeper Paul Spellman, have been named to the D1 preseason All-American teams. Under the leadership of head coach John House, the team hopes to make it to the NCAA tournament this year after not making it to the postseason play last season. The softball team started its season with a doubleheader Saturday against the other Carolina, USC Gamecocks. In the first game, a stolen base by freshman Aaron Dudley and a fake hit led to Carolina's first score. But it didn't last long. The Gamecocks blasted a 3-run homer and the Heels couldn't catch up. After the 3-2 loss, UNC couldn't get out of the funk and lost in the second game 3-1. In competition away from campus, the gymnastics team traveled to Towson, Maryland on Saturday and danced around the competition, finishing first in the 4-team meet. The wrestling team didn't fare as well, going 1-2 in a quad meet in Washington, D.C. Saturday, the fencing team placed 3rd in a tournament as Duke beat the Blue Devils head up. That and the men's basketball loss to Duke put the Devils and the Heels in a dead heat in the Carlisle Cup standings with 7 points each. Well, as I said, very busy, a lot to get done, another big week coming up. Does anybody have an answer for our sports trivia question?
Well, I'm pretty up on Carolina sports recently. So
Okay, what do you think?
my guess would have to be D because, in high school I wasn't so into it. But.
Okay, I'll go with D too.
You're both correct. It is D. The last time the Heels won in overtime was in February 1999. Bill Guthers was the coach. It seems like a long time ago, but that's your answer.
Well, that wouldn't happen with Roy now. So.
No.
Thanks, Brad. What could be better than eating chocolate while raising money for a good cause?
Well, I can't imagine anything better than that. Sunday, the Chapel Hill Service League sponsored the nonprofit benefit, A Chocolate Affair. Moorhead Planetarium filled up with people eager to taste chocolates and participate in live and silent auctions. All proceeds from the events go to the Cornucopia House Cancer Support Center.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week. Thanks for watching.
Be sure to catch our live election return special Tuesday from 10 till midnight and the Carolina Week Wednesday edition. Good night.
Good night.